There we are.
Welcome to What's New. Here we are again, looking at y'all. And I'll let ours take over and introduce our guest tonight.
Okay, we have Rich Rebecki, and he's going to give us a bunch of information again this evening.
Yes, and thank you so much for having me yet back again.
Well, we're happy anytime.
And again, and until I wear out my welcome, you can count on me coming on a regular basis.
I doubt that.
Yeah.
Nobody ever wears out a welcome here.
Well,
Absolutely not.
Things are progressing. Things are progressing to a point at the Learning Center where we're getting engaged with other attractions, merchants and attractions like this weekend, which is one thing I'd like to share with you folks tonight. Another thing is we're close enough to the end of the tunnel where it's not a train anymore, it's the end of the tunnel. So another thing I would like to address is our volunteer night. We're going to have an information session coming up next week, and I'll explain a little about that. And I would like to mention again that we're midway through our sustainability drives, and I'd like to mention, if time permits, how people can get involved other than just writing out a check and saying good luck. But there are other multiple forms of memberships and other projects to get involved with in the facility. So I guess the best thing for me to do is
Start talking.
I'll start telling you about this Saturday.
Okay.
We have probably the three best individuals that an organization could possibly have, overseen by Melissa Otto. And we call them Team O, and the O really is for operations, but it's Team Otto that's going on there.
Team Otto, absolutely.
Yeah, and she would be with me tonight. She was a bit under the weather last night when we did a promo, and it just got the best of her tonight. So I'm going to try to do as good a job as she did last night, speaking about what we're planning on this weekend. During our hours of operation, we're going to open up the courtyard, and we're going to have tables set up for giving Easter-type candies and whatnots from the gift shop to anybody, and little kids that come up, much like we did during the Halloween festivities and the Christmas walk. But in addition to that, we'll have table set up where for a very small fee, kids can sit down and paint sun catchers in the shape of dinosaurs.
Oh, neat.
Of the 7 galleries that we have, the Dinosaur Gallery and the St. Genevieve Gallery are both pretty close to 90 to 95% done, well ahead of some of the other galleries. So a lot of our knickknacks, souvenirs are dinosaur related. It's true. The dinosaurs are quite an attraction, especially for little kids. So Melissa came up with the idea of getting some clear dinosaur-shaped sun catchers, and kids could paint them. And everybody's going to walk away with something, but we're going to probably kind of incorporate an art contest, amongst the kids. That'll be a couple of tables set up like that. We also have something that's kind of unique. We're kind of stealing. I'm a Rotarian, and during Jour de Fête we have the duck races. Well, we're going to do something a little bit similar. Well, actually, the only thing similar is we have ducks too, but they're not racing anywhere. Well, the ducks that we have are ducks from the neck down, but they're dinosaur faces from the neck up.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, my lands.
Oh, my gosh.
Underneath each duck will be some sort of code. The code will match up something on a gift table.
Oh, my
Oh,
And again, for a nominal fee,
Right.
they're going to be floating in a little kiddie pool. And kids can go over
Oh my gosh,
and pick
grab
up,
one.
yeah, grab the duck and look at the bottom. Now, the thing is, we haven't really noodled, um, let the kid have the duck too,
Right.
that type of deal.
Yeah.
Because if it's really successful, we'll want to do it again next year.
Absolutely.
If we don't have a major crowd, then, why not? Who
Right.
doesn't like something that's,
Right.
free? What a magic, one of a four-letter word that everybody can, respect and
Right.
enjoy. So, again, we'll be doing the kids that come maybe with Easter baskets, we'll have stuff for them. And it'll be over our hours of operation, so, where there's a little kid, there's usually a guardian, a mom, a dad, a grandma, a grandpa with cash and credit cards, so, they don't have to go in. We set up our museum so you can visit the gift store and you can shop around without having to pay a fee,
Right.
to go into the facility. So that's a Saturday. And if this Saturday coming up is anything like the Halloween day that we had, or the Christmas walk that we had, it should be, just as exciting and just as enjoyable. And I guess the weather is going to be just spectacular.
Supposed to be.
Yeah,
Yes.
just spectacular.
Yes.
So that's Saturday. And it's pretty much, kid oriented and
Right.
kid driven. And we've got, with Melissa, we've got a tie into the R2 school district.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easy to approach the powers that be over there for middle and high school assistance.
Mm-hmm.
And we have 3 or 4 young ladies who donate their time on a Sunday, Saturday or Sunday, to act as, floor docents over the facility. We also have a pretty good relationship with Valley. They have, I believe, a mandatory volunteer type of deal.
They have,
Service hours.
Service hours, yeah.
Yes.
So, we're hoping that as kids realize, I have to have so many, we'll pick up some of those kids as well. And eventually we'll have a volunteer session, an info session for all of our middle and high school kids.
Oh, I was gonna say, what would be those ages?
Yeah, well, middle school is.
Middle school is sixth grade?
Probably eighth.
Eighth grade?
Yeah, eighth
Okay.
grade is in middle school, and.
And then on, okay.
2 of the young ladies that are with us on the weekend are sophomores.
Oh, okay.
At the.
What time
St.
does this all start Saturday?
Apparently, all the merchants that are opening up at 10 will string balloons outside
Oh,
their
that'd be
business.
nice.
Oh.
We're gonna be setting up at 10, but the first thing we're gonna do is, we're gonna let people know, they'll see balloons hanging from our courtyard sign.
Oh, okay.
So, we'll do just like, everybody else that's getting involved. And in
Okay.
today's newspaper, I get the Herald delivered on a Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a pretty decent article about not only who's participating, but what they're doing in their form of
Oh,
participation. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll have to
So
pick up the
other
paper.
merchants are getting involved?
Yeah, some are
Okay.
giving discounts, some are giving, freebies, some are,
Oh, that's good.
we have the space, I mean,
Right.
Steve, but none of us can take credit for the courtyard idea. That was Steve Bacon, our architect, trying to figure out what the hell
Really?
to do with a road that,
Yes.
people could be hood ornaments,
Right.
coming out of the facility
Right.
if somebody's trying to cut through. And
Right.
he came up with the courtyard. And it was
He's good.
it was amazing because we also, part of the sale of the former Ketting building,
Mm-hmm.
from the clip joint back, those outbuildings are ours as well. So we can, we'll eventually develop them.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, so the clip joint was over here, you're gonna make something out of that?
Yeah, I mean, this,
Okay.
it's exciting and it's frustrating at the same time.
know.
Everybody I've spoken with in my travels in other museums, from the smallest museum down in Kennett, the little railroad
Oh, yeah.
car, to the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston, and
Oh,
the California Tech Center, in San Francisco, they all basically say the same thing. Once you're open, you're always changing something.
Oh, yeah.
You're putting walls up, you're taking walls down. You're moving display cases from the back of the building to the front of the building. And we can see that. I mean, right now, I can look all three of you square in the eyes and say, we have 7 separate functioning galleries. It is our hope that every visitor, we will strike a nerve in every visitor, because not everybody is enthralled with dinosaurs. Not everybody's into history. So we have something for. Now, I could say that tonight. It could go public, and then somebody comes 2 months from now, and I'm walking them through because I'm on the floor,
Right.
and I say, well, we have 5 galleries now. Well, wait a minute, I saw you on TV, you said there was 7. Well, 2 of them got combined because,
Yeah.
and you've got to be that flexible,
Right, right.
And
Right.
then it even gets, when a museum reaches a certain level of confidence, much like a school system, in my 35 years, I was on the receiving end of 3 accreditations, and I also was a visiting professional at other schools.
Yeah.
So
Right.
museums do accreditation too. And,
That's neat.
yeah, so every 10 years, there's the list of recommendations and the list of commendations that have to be addressed. So what we have now may not look anything like 5 years from now what we have, based on the accreditation process.
I'll tell you what, my grandkids came from Kansas at Christmas time, and Melissa let us go through, and there wasn't anything that, I was trying to tell them, well, this, there's gonna be dinosaurs, but then there's gonna be history of St. Genevieve, and they were, and when it comes to some of the older stuff, like some of the older pictures, especially of out in front here where the bridge is out
Oh,
here,
yeah,
they looked and said, they wanted to know if I was living back then.
yeah.
And I said, no. It was before my time.
Yeah, no, and that, and some people, some of our visitors, very astute locals, they remember what the former facility was like. They come to see the St. Genevieve Gallery, and the first thing they say is, you don't have the same volume of stuff out. And ironically, the footprint of this total space is a little bit smaller than the footprint of that building.
Really?
Yeah, the difference between the 2 facilities, the former museum had a slew of 8-foot by 4-foot wide display cases.
Oh, you know what?
And on top of the 8-foot display cases was an empty cavity where items could be moved down to swap out what was below it. So when you take a look at, we don't have the 8-foot case. We've got the original 1935 horizontal cases, and we've got probably 12 to 15% of our items on display. What's good about that is every 6 to 9 months, we can take everything out of those horizontal display cases and put another whole batch of items out.
Oh,
So eventually, when I talk about the memberships later on, and I look at somebody and they say, well, why do I want to buy a membership if you're not gonna? Oh, trust me.
yeah.
We'll be having events on the courtyard. We'll be able to rotate items out on a regular basis. Probably the one horizontal display case that we probably won't mess around with, and it's kind of my baby, and I'm not the most religious person in the world, but I kind of adopted the religious items that we had over there, and some are one of a kind.
oh,
I mean, truly one of a kind, and we've got it situated in the shadow of the steeple of the
Yes.
church.
Oh, my.
So those items, we'd probably have to have something over the top that I'm not aware of that has come in on a loan or a donation to swap something that in there out.
in there.
But I mean, the stuff that's on the walls are going to stay on the walls.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
those sepia tone photographs.
Those are nice.
Yeah.
Those are really nice.
Yeah.
We got pictures in every one of those, every area. I got pictures of my grandkids. in
Yeah.
there. It was neat. I mean, just going in there myself, I couldn't get over.
Well, what we're getting now is, it happened a couple of times about a month ago, but it's happening more frequently now. Young couples with one kid, one child in a stroller, they'll come in and they'll zip around the dinosaur room. They'll go upstairs and they try to read the descriptives
Oh, yeah.
of the stuff that's in the St. Genevieve Gallery. But the kid in the stroller gets a little fidgety, or the little 3-year-old that they've got in tow. And more than once, they've said, you know what? They've seen the dinosaurs. We're gonna come back so we can enjoy the other galleries
Oh, my
and take time, read the descriptors. And when I tell them about the information desk, which is hopefully gonna be staffed by volunteers,
Right.
then the volunteers don't have to have answers to anything. Because I don't know, but let's go over to the information desk.
Right.
Let them,
Let them find out.
yeah. So, yeah, it's.
The bugs, I mean, well, they look, I mean, they're gigantic things, and they were just so intrigued by all that.
Yeah, it's a nice,
It's
it's
definitely
almost,
something.
and I don't wanna come across as being facetious, but it's almost mind-numbing that a small community of
Absolutely.
4,000 people in the middle of the country could have something
Absolutely
like that. You know, you expect that in the St.
In the
Louis's,
city.
the Columbias, the Kansas Cities,
Right.
you know,
Not here.
but not here. But, I mean, and if we do it right, you know,
This little town has lots of treasures.
yeah, truly. So we touched a little on volunteers, and next Wednesday night, the 31st, at 6:30, we're gonna open up the facility, and anybody interested in hearing, you know, what we're looking for in the way of a volunteer,
Oh, okay.
you know, people will come to the, you know,
What time is that?
it's 6:30 to 8.
Okay.
Next Wednesday evening. It'll be an information session, very similar to the one we had over the DeBerg Center when we first floated the idea to the community that we're not mothballing the History Museum,
Right.
we're just going to relocate,
Right.
you know, the items.
Yeah,
So,
I'd like to come to volunteer for something.
what's that?
I'd like to volunteer for something. in
Well,
there.
well, the thing is, most of the really successful museums I visited, they refer to the volunteers as the lifeline. You know, it's nice to have a fat checking account.
Right.
It's nice to have a savings account that helps you with sustainability. But if you don't have people,
Right. You don't
okay,
have-
then you know what? You're not,
Not
you know,
doing much.
that money's just gonna sit there and not do much. But with volunteers, well, with volunteers, as I said, they've been referred to as the, you know, the lifeline of any museum. And most of the successful facilities actually refer to a calendar as a Samaritan calendar. So you come into the gift shop and you say, you know, I'd really like to volunteer, but you know what? In my busy schedule, all I have is from 3 to 4 o'clock on a Wednesday. Well, you know what? Take that grease marker and write down Wednesday, your name, between 3 and 4, because you know what? You're picking when you're coming.
And you can do it.
And then what we'll do is we'll make sure that there's somebody, let's say at the information desk, manning the security camera, computer, and at the keyboard, you know, answering any questions for any of our visitors. That's a sit-down job. Well, you don't want to sit for 2 hours.
Right.
So, you know what? You put your hour in, we say thank you, and you say, see you next Wednesday. You may say, you know what? If you're only going to do 2-hour shifts, why don't I put me down for the gift shop from, you know,
Yeah.
2 to 3, and then information desk, I'd like to sit at from 3 to 4. So everything, and it becomes a workman's puzzle with multiple names in multiple, and in theory, we should have one person at, one person on the floor, one person at the information desk, two people in the gift shop, one doing admissions, one helping out with gift sale purchases, and then it's just a kind of musical chairs. But everybody gets to move.
Right.
Nobody gets eliminated.
That's
And,
awesome.
and we
That's
just,
great.
yeah, and, that's something that we'll go into, in a little bit greater detail Wednesday night. Something else that we'd like to do is, we'd like to have museum ambassadors. I mean, people
yes.
people like yourself that have an interest, possibly a membership. What you're doing here in this form of public service dovetails perfectly with being an ambassador to the museum. You don't really need a representative of the museum sitting here where you could throw out just came from the museum the other day. They changed out 2 of the 4 St. Genevieve Gallery. There's more life on the Mississippi items and flood-related items. You ought to go see it.
Oh, my gosh.
You know what?
See?
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
being an ambassador, helping with our lecture series. It's almost public perception that somebody on the board of directors should be in a leadership role. But I feel if there's somebody else in the public that's taking that leadership, well, then you know what? The board of directors are doing their job, empowering people to do what they do best. You get an English teacher that has an interest in, learning more about the plank road. All right, so you know what? Why don't you come, introduce our guest speaker, and take that first seat and listen to what's happening?
That's awesome.
I mean,
Yeah.
and that's the kind of planning that goes into running a successful entity like this. And as I said before, I mean, we've got 3 truly, Melissa and Sean Long, wife Becky, and Lauren, and her last name escapes me. It begins with an S, but they have ties with the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts, but they're carving time out of their schedule to help out in operations over here, and that's pretty important and pretty impressive at the same time.
Absolutely.
So, the floor aides, the ambassadors, I covered all that for Wednesday night, and it's something that if you can't make it, no big deal. We'll probably put something out in the newspaper. We'll probably
31st.
the 31st. I haven't talked to Charles about his availability, and I know why I haven't, because we haven't worked out the logistics just yet. But if we do it a second time, I'll ask Charles what his schedule is, and maybe he can videotape the second go around, and then that can go where all of our other videos go. Out to the World Wide Web and YouTube and all that good public relations stuff.
Put it on there and it's out there.
It's out there. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
But that was the second thing I'd like, I wanted to address and to inform everybody about the volunteer night. And like I said, I hope I did as good a job as Melissa did last night. Now that this is more or less a reminder, this third point, this third topic, if you will, and that's getting involved beyond just writing a check if you receive an appeals letter. That you can get involved. And we have 2 forms of memberships, and we have something called a generation tree. And the generation tree, if you can picture a wind-blown weeping willow, all the leaves are leaning one way, and it's growing a certain way. Well, this generation tree has leaves for sale, and the leaves, there's 3 lines of text, and it could be, anything that won't get us in trouble. No bad words.
Right,
Right.
right.
Okay, but, family name, husband, wife, marriage, birth of children, whatever, but up to 3 lines. And there are 2 different kind of wooden leaves that it will be, either stamped or, carved into the wood, and then they'll be placed on twigs, and the tree will grow from a rock foundation. Now, the rock foundation are for businesses. My wife is the daughter of Bob Uding. Bob was one of the 3 brothers, along with Dodo Ketting, that did building stone. So Mary took out a St. John Building Stone Company business rock. So the bottom of this tree will be these stone, rock, brick type of, setting off, the tree shape. So down below will be businesses past and present that, made St. Genevieve, then what St. Genevieve was and still continues today. And then the trees, as you buy more leaves, the price point goes down. So you could have a limb, if you had 8 siblings, you could have your parents on the first leaf of a limb, and then each additional family member could be on a leaf below that, and you'd have a whole limb, So that's the generation tree. I think the proper name is Generation Tree Legacy, because you're leaving very much like companies that do the engraving in the bricks. Well, there's maintenance that goes. There's a lot of people don't realize there's a maintenance factor to keep the black in the brick from fading out. Well, you know what? This is inside on a wall.
Right.
So there's no maintenance at all except actually attaching stuff. So once that's attached, it's the job is done. We're running 2 memberships concurrently. One is the charter membership. That's $150, and it's good until the very last minute of the last day in 2021. When January 1, 2022 rolls in, then everybody who wants to get involved will be on the lower annual. We're doing this charter membership only for the first year, and we've got this, it's maybe 11 by 17 or 18 hand calligraphied 1935 foundation list. The people that had a hand in developing and creating the original museum, in any way, shape, manner, or form, are listed on the original foundation. Well, this is it's an extension of the old facility, but it's a new beginning. So our charter membership, along with all of its benefits, and one of those benefits is having your name on the new, and those will eventually hang side by side. The charter membership is $150. It comes with unlimited admissions. It comes with 4 adult and 4 children passes that you can give to anybody anytime you want. It comes with a 30% discount in the gift shop. It comes with a beautiful pewter medallion that was struck by Tom and Pat. The fleur-de-lis and the water symbol will never be seen again in conjunction with this museum. It's just for the new founding members. The card, the credit card type,
Right.
okay, we're having a little difficulty getting it getting the personalized names on it, but we're still working on it. Some people before Christmas got everything but their ID card. Some people, we told, if it's a mailing situation, please be patient. You'll get your full packet,
Right.
Your welcome packet eventually. Once we do that, you don't have to show the card for admissions, because we know the names of the people that,
That
are allowed to come in free, and once the plaque goes up, 9 out of 10 people are gonna come in and oh,
Oh, yeah.
there's my name.
Yes.
Okay, well, welcome and thank you, that
Right.
type of deal.
Right.
That's for $150, and it's good till the last day of the year. The annual membership is a little less, but then the benefits are a little less. But because it's a membership, the annual membership is $40 a year, with the caveat that you'll come at least 4 times.
Right.
Because if you come at 4 or more times, your membership pays for itself.
Right.
And to be honest, the first year or two, we're gonna be hard pressed, changing things around so frequently where you'll say, hey, I think you guys beat us because I only came 3 times and I need to come 4. But the thing is, the first couple of years, you're buying the membership to help with sustainability.
Right.
That membership will go to pay for the heating bill in the wintertime.
Right.
Or it goes, to turn the lights on,
Right.
But eventually, if we do what we're supposed to do, you're unlimited, every time you come in, whether it's something going on the inside or something going on the outside, okay, I'm already noodling the idea where the whole town on the Christmas walk is, the kids and the parade and everything, what's in it for the adults? Well, come to the courtyard, let's sip with Santa, let's set up some wine and cheese,
Right,
and,
absolutely.
tell Santa what you want for Christmas, but you can't say,
I love it.
how about my grandkids don't visit, I want a
Right,
quiet
right.
Christmas this year, so.
Going for grandparents or mom and dad.
Yeah, so, I
That's
mean,
neat.
and something like that, that would be free to members,
That would be,
Right.
Sipping with Santa,
I love it.
why not?
Love it.
Yeah,
I
why
love the
not?
sipping with Santa.
Yeah, but, so the annual membership at $40, again, gives you unlimited attendance,
Time to come.
come in, unlimited attendance, unlimited admissions. It comes with 2 free adult and 2 free children's cards. It comes with a 10%, discount and it comes with a reduced fee. If we have to charge, say, $5 a head for a guest speaker because the guest speaker, that's how he or she supplements their income, well, you know what? It's $5 for the general public. It's free for the charter members, but for the annual member, it may only be $2.50.
I see.
And, we pick up, the number one tenet in a 501c3 is to give back to the community,
Right.
And when you think of it, there is an incentive to make enough money to pay your bills,
Right,
but we're not a for-profit,
Right.
so,
right, so you have to.
yeah, so,
So
whatever
now
you can do
that's
for the
every
community.
year, 150 every year?
For 1 year,
For one year.
the 150
The one-
is for this year and this year only.
Oh.
And the reason it's so high is, it's coming with the personalized card.
Right.
It's coming with, the pewter, you almost need
Oh,
2
just a-
hands. You almost need 2 hands to hold the pewter medallion up. And the card, the artwork on the card, you'll never see that kind of artwork again. It's a one and done for 1 year. When midnight strikes, and now it's 2022, then moving forward, there'll only be annual memberships.
Annual memberships?
Yeah.
Okay.
And those would be $40.
And they'll be $40, unless, things skyrocket and we have to go to 50. But if we have to go up in the future, then rest assured, we'll also go up with the kickback on the discounts.
Right.
We won't stay at 10, we may go to 15 or 20.
Right.
But,
And the
yeah.
40 is for 2 adults and 2 children?
At $40, we'll get you your annual card for you that comes with unlimited admissions, and then you'll get 2 adult and 2 children free. And you could sell them if you wanted. I mean,
So
we
what's
don't-
your adult age?
The
Would it be 18?
seniors have a $2 discount at, I believe it's 62. But normal visitors pay $10. A senior citizen pays $8. We have a military, active military and first responder. You know, and there was some talk, we seem to be giving a lot away. Well, you know what? We're almost bound by that. We're a nonprofit.
Right.
And you know what? We've had this one couple, she's a active military, and he's a first responder.
Wow,
They've been in our facility once each of the past 2 months.
really?
Yeah. And this past Sunday, the gentleman bought an annual membership.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's that annual, and it's, not an annual, I'm sorry, a charter
I
membership.
was gonna say.
Yeah, a charter membership. And, you know, we've got 2 amazing galleries that wow people, and you can see the potential of what the other 5 are gonna look like.
Right.
I mean, our ancient cultures display, of all the ancient culture items that we could put on, we've decided to kick it off with a Viking, Celtic, and Northern European antiquities and artifacts. So when you walk into the ancient cultures room, that's what you'll see first. But you know what? 4 to 6 months from now, you may see all Egyptian.
Yeah.
You may see Inca, Aztec, and Mayan. And this isn't stuff that was bought in Cancun on a vacation. This is, carbon dated stuff. That's the real deal.
Well, my grandkids, Melissa took them through where the incubator was.
Yeah, yeah.
They really enjoyed
Yeah.
that. Jurassic Park, right?
I don't even know if Steven Spielberg has a Jurassic
No
Park
kidding.
incubator.
No kidding.
All right? And I think wasn't he the executive director on all of them?
Yeah,
Okay, and,
Yes.
we happen to have one.
right. So, what's your child age? And you start out at 18 as an adult?
Yeah.
18,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, and that's children from, elementary school up, I
Right.
believe, are $5.
Okay.
Through high
Up to
school,
18.
and then, at that point, then
Then they're
it's an
adults.
adult,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And you know what? All right, never mind.
We'll
Never
talk about
mind.
this.
It's so easy for me to get my wrist slapped. So let's just,
Right,
Right.
right.
if ever you're on site and you have to ask that question, ask if I'm on.
I will.
How do you go, just go in down there to get your membership?
You can, we have a retired military person. She put her 20 years in with the Air Force, and she's running facilities. She's there Monday through Friday.
Really?
Friday, she's our facility head. So she mans the phone. You can call up, and I've got all the contact information here. Yeah, Crystal Scallon is our ex-military person who runs the facility. Matter of fact, I'll give you one of her cards, but before I leave tonight, I'll share all of the contact information with
okay.
everybody.
All right.
But that's one way, calling up. Coming down on any of the 3 days that we're open.
Which is what?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're open from 11 to 4. And I'm gonna put this out, different venues have different days of the week when they consider, and this is nothing to do with COVID, but this is their operations when they're fully open.
Okay.
And it could be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they're fully open. It could be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they're fully open. And what they do is they have special events on those days, or special tours.
Okay.
And we haven't really made a declaration how we're moving forward, but we are open Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
From 11 to 4.
For 11 to 4. And there's somebody there at, when you walk in through the courtyard, the admissions desk is right there.
Right.
Right.
Okay, so, and that's another way. Or you can, if you're comfortable with snail mail, you can write us, and your letter of inquiry can be mailed directly to the museum or to our post office box. Again, I'll give that information out shortly.
And she's down there every day during the week? Or
Yes.
like over the week? If we wanted to go down there and just talk to her about joining, we could do that?
Yeah,
Okay.
she's there,
Okay.
give her a holler,
Okay.
give her a holler, and what'll happen is, she'll deal with you,
Okay.
or, any combination of Melissa and Becky could be on, or Becky and Lauren could be on, or any of the three operations lady and I could be on. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there'll always be somebody there. And if you're computer comfortable, I didn't use the word computer literate, I said computer comfortable. All right, so if you're computer comfortable, you can go to our website.
Oh,
And
I
I'll
don't
give,
use a computer anymore.
Yeah.
Since I had a stroke, I can't remember one thing about it.
okay, well, and that is yet another avenue. You can go to our website. Matter of fact, when Charles was shooting our little promo last night, I had that page of our website up on the monitor.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, as I was mentioning memberships, there was the page that people would see if they went to the website. You know, which may be a good time right now to share with
Right.
whoever's watching. Our phone number, to call our main phone number is 573-883-3466. 573-883-3466.
That's on your website too.
And
isn't
that's on the website, and it's on all of our, what we've done is, each one of us has a business card, and we've each selected a different item from the museum.
Oh, how wonderful.
And Crystal has chosen skeleton key. This skeleton key is from the Second Catholic Church in this community. The only thing that we're aware of that's left behind of the Second Church, when the congregation got too big for the wooden church that was flooded out south of here,
Right.
okay, they built the stone church
Right.
in the middle of the property that now the big brick church is on.
Right.
And it's one of these situations, one built on top of the other. So Crystal chose the key. I believe Melissa may have a T-Rex face on her business card.
Really?
I chose, I had a hard decision. We have in the St. John Gallery, we have a skull cap from Pope Pius XII. And I think that's just simply amazing. Even though, footnote, Pope Pius XII was Mussolini's buddy, okay? So I don't think if there's an all-star list of
Right.
popes, he's on
He's
that
on
list.
there.
But we have his skull cap. So I was torn between having the skull cap or the train. We've got the big model, Louis Pernod's transfer train, and that was the number one. When we were over the other facility, that was the number one thing people spoke about.
Really?
And when visitors came back, they said, I've got to see this model train. So-and-so was here, but,
Right.
So, but my card has the
hat?
sepia
Oh,
tone,
the
the sepia tone photograph of
Okay.
the train.
Oh, of the train. Okay.
Yeah, so everybody's got something different, but it's all in this format with our logo up at the top, sepia toned, giving it that historical feel, And I'll
Okay.
give each of you a crystal card with all the information. All right, so our mailing address is 360 Market Street in St. John. 360 Market Street in
And how do
St.
you
John.
address that?
What's that?
What do you put on the top?
If you were gonna write to us, just write, SGMLC Museum Office, or
Okay.
SGMLC, or anything with the word museum, Learning Center Museum, those are the
Oh, okay.
buzzwords.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, those are the buzzwords at this address. And we have a post office box, it's 184.
Okay.
So if you wanted to go the P.O. box, route, you could go that route as well. And finally, the website, our website, that is being updated, I won't say on a daily basis, but frequently, all right, in new information, and that would be for the computer comfortable people. That would be where they would look for us for changes and, announcements and stuff.
All I have is my television.
Yeah, but the,
I can't do anything else, so don't get remember.
the website is St. John Museum, all lowercase letters, STEGENMUSEUM, stjohnmuseum.org.
STEGEN.
GENMUSEUM. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, I'll do
Dot-
that for my daughter.
.org.
Okay.
And again, if you miscopied anything down, or I misspoke, the information
Is all on there?
is on the
Okay,
card.
is that
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And I don't, I don't think I misspoke, but, the accent is strong, and
Thank
you
you very much.
you might
could just
have
sit
you
there
might
and
have misheard.
Oh, love this.
But that's about it in a nutshell. I mean, I was able to cover the 3 points, and to be honest with you, when there's other guests, I'm not comfortable, stealing the spotlight. I'm not comfortable. They have just as important a message to get out as I do. But I'm kind of grateful that I've had the opportunity to go over. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, nobody. You all made me look good.
Well, and you know what, this goes to show that we had a couple that were here, and they were the only ones, and we talked the whole hour and a half.
Yeah.
But it
We
was
did.
all, we did, yes, we did the last time. And the neat thing about it was, they were able to tell us about everything, and the time went so fast, but,
Well,
yes.
I mean, if you have any specific questions that I may be able to answer for you, other than, timelines, when is something gonna, be finished? Because that's the question most of us ask all the time.
So we could just go on your website and see all the dates of
Yeah,
different things that's
and
gonna happen.
if you've got, if you can, manipulate
Yes.
around Facebook, Facebook.
Oh, okay.
We have a Facebook page.
Okay.
We have the website. We've got a couple of the high school kids. I found out that this one young lady, a sophomore over St. John, she told me that both she and her dad write code, which, is tech talk for, I know my way around a computer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know what? So, let's sit down and talk about Twitter, Instagram, Flickr, whatever, all of these, because the more you're out there in
Absolutely.
social networks,
Right.
the more you're the more you're exposed. We had influencer. We had an influencer, a woman from St. Louis, who writes her own blog and is an influencer, which means she'll tell your story,
Oh,
good or bad, Okay,
Oh.
so
Oh,
the deal is if you're skating on thin ice, then you don't want to,
You don't wanna
you don't
call
want an
them.
influencer, okay? But if you've got something that, an influencer could be
Absolutely.
wowed over, she came down midweek. I believe Melissa took her around.
I'm sure she did.
Okay, I could be misspeaking here, but I'm pretty sure she did. The influencer went back and she wrote her blog, and her blog is something to do with kids, or, what kids can do in St. Louis, or words to that effect, okay? The highest, we had on the next Saturday, 2 days later, we had more people come to this site than the best 3 months in the wintertime over the other facility. If you added up a December, January, and February, 3 in order of the most underperforming months of visitors, and you add the highest 3-month total, we surpassed that one Saturday after the influencer wrote on her
Oh,
Facebook
my
page and her blog.
How amazing.
Yeah, I mean, people, and you know what we got? You know what we got for responses from people?
What?
This wasn't so difficult to get to,
Oh.
St. Genevieve. And I felt like saying, well, you know what? Once you get on 55,
Right.
close your eyes,
It
take
is.
a nap, 10 and 2, and
Right.
you know what? You're gonna be in
Absolutely.
St. Gen.
Absolutely, you go 61 or you come 32 and it takes you right there.
Yeah.
No, you're
Either
right.
way, it takes you right
Yeah,
there.
yeah, and
Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
well, we'll come back.
Yeah,
This wasn't so hard to get to.
right, and then they'll visit the rest of the town,
Yeah.
So um, oh my gosh, it was on the tip of my tongue. I said, I cannot forget this, and it just went right off my tongue. I'll think about it, we'll keep talking.
That's all right.
Oh my gosh, but this is really exciting. Really
Yeah, it is.
exciting.
Some of the things that we really haven't shared with a lot of people, we've got lines, audio-visual lines coming out of the building to hang an outdoor TV, so people, when the courtyard has its benches and its ferns and its
Right.
trees in movable, planters, people can sit on a nice day like today
Oh,
and
yeah.
watch infomercials that we're gonna make,
Oh my
with,
gosh.
probably with the help of the
The
TV crew.
schools, yeah.
You know?
They're amazing, aren't they?
Yeah,
They're just, they're just great.
yeah,
They
and,
really
and, and, you know what, we've got drops in the gift shop, so we could set up a monitor on a wall, and we could work out agreements with other merchants, advertise their businesses and their
Yes.
hours.
Absolutely.
We're in discussion with Brad Arnold to do a reciprocal
center.
thing. We'll advertise on your screen, and then when we're up and running, you advertise on our, sounds like a,
That's awesome.
and,
That's awesome.
I mean, we're really not in competition with
No,
one another.
No,
Right.
absolutely not.
What we can control is we can control the word to get out of this region to bring people in.
Yeah,
Right.
Okay,
absolutely.
we can't control where they go.
Right.
Once they come
Right,
here.
right.
But, Sarah Menard is on our board of directors.
Oh.
A family wants to go for ice cream?
Ice cream, you just tell them go to
You're right
Sarah's.
around the corner. They don't
Absolutely.
need to know that this is a little trader, inside
No,
trader
absolutely
information,
not. Nope.
you know?
We've got Sarah's and now we got the bakery right across.
Right, yeah. Yeah,
Listen to me talking about food and Audubon's right there.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Where
that
can we go? What kind of meal would you like,
Right.
you know?
Absolutely.
You can
got
find it all
right
in one
there.
small area,
Absolutely.
Anything
Within
you want.
walking distance.
Yeah,
any kind of
yeah.
food.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people are, people are receptive. I mean, it's nothing's underhanded, nothing deceitful, nothing, oh, so you got a business that you think you're gonna do You ride my coattails? Oh, no. Oh, well, you know what? We're gonna
Right.
promote you just as much as
Absolutely.
we promote ourselves.
Absolutely, and you know what, it's, if you start at the museum, you go all the way down, you go the whole block, or you can go all the way down and go all the way down Main Street
Yeah.
and come back up and go that way. So, I know what I was gonna say, tours,
Yeah.
are you gonna be doing tours for your kids at school?
Yes, as a matter of fact, Melissa has
That's not my phone.
a half a dozen that I'm aware of that are spread out into May. And we've already done a few. We've already done 3 or 4, you know, and the
Really?
kid,
Can I put
yeah.
it back in the meeting?
And you know, the kids come in with their
No, I'll
teacher.
be right
That's,
back.
this, the operations for
Okay,
that,
will do.
I don't know what the fees are, I don't know, you know, who's, that was a, you know, that's a, you know, a Team-O type of deal. But we've already done 3, yeah, we've already done 3 or 4, there's 3 or 4 more on the docket. And, you know, we're in the
you
community
wait,
for,
absolutely,
you know,
you
we're in the
wait.
community primarily, you know, we bill ourselves, and I've mentioned this one of the first times that I came on, but it is worth mentioning again, because it's something that resonates with the parents when they visit us. We bill ourselves as a learning center, not just a museum, but a learning center, because it's our philosophy that if this descriptive that's right here next to this object, that descriptive is more than enough to satisfy your curiosity about what it is you're looking at. If the descriptive is written correctly, that suffice,
Pretty much, yes.
okay? But you know what? We've created an educational triangle in our facility. We have an information desk that can research any item that we have in our facility. That information desk will give you walk up to the information desk and say, I saw a seashell, number 37. It was from the South Pacific. I'd like to know more about the South Pacific. No problem, ma'am.
Really?
We'll do that research for you. As you leave, ask somebody in the gift store. We're gonna give you whatever research was done, free of charge,
Oh, my God.
okay, on what you asked for. Because you know what? You're not likely, if you've got a couple of kids in tow, you're not likely gonna try to sit them down while you pull out your cell phone
Right.
and try to research on the spot.
Right. You're right.
And if you're like me, you'll leave yourself a note,
Yes.
but it won't be a detailed note.
Right.
And 2 weeks from now,
Right.
you're gonna look at your cell phone saying,
And what's
okay,
that?
what did I wanna do?
It sounds like me.
All right, so that's one leg of our educational triangle. Somebody will do the research for you. Now, if you're on your own, you're with a group of friends, and you just don't wanna keep walking, you know what?
Oh.
The information desk will give you some computer time. We'll have a bank of computers available, so you could do your own research. And when you hit print, all of those copies
It
go,
prints it.
it will go down to the gift shop, and free of charge when you leave. And we've got the theater classroom. That will eventually be set up so that classroom teachers can do a lesson. They can supplement the lesson with a Nat Geo or a History Channel program, all in the theater area. And then you move a few chairs around, the kids bring in some tables, and now you do a hands-on unit based on what you saw
What you have- yeah.
or what the teacher spoke about. So those are the 3 legs of this learning set. We're not trying to, I'm not coming out of retirement. I had 35 phenomenal years, okay?
Right.
It's a younger person's
Right,
game now,
right.
okay? But you know what? I want to give you the option to learn more, should you want to learn more.
Right, absolutely.
You know, and that's what we're doing. And no other museums are like that. The only other museum that I'm aware of that comes close to that, the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York,
Really.
has their own library.
And that's the only
And
one.
and an annual member can go up there And they will, the first 8x10 photograph from all of their archives, they'll give to you. Anything else that you want photographed, it'll cost you, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
So,
The wheels are turning.
yeah, so, I mean,
Absolutely.
why can't we do the same thing? You know, why can't we make it, so that you can choose? And you know what, on your ride home, if you start kicking yourself in the backside for not taking us up on that, guess what? You may come back again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You may come back for a second visit and have that research done.
Well, and with just the information you gave us that this lady did for this, what'd you call it again now? Influence?
The influencer. Yeah,
yeah.
that's the title of people who do this
Who do
for a
that
living.
stuff. So she already got it going. So if they just come down to the museum and say it was on a Sunday and nothing else was open or whatever, they could still come down on that Friday or Saturday. And then just, again, you start here, just starting at the library.
Yeah.
And go all the way down and around, and then you got where you can eat or
Right.
just,
Well, speaking of the library, this is something that I'd like to see happen. And it's a scenario that I've shared with people. I've gone public with this, or I should say we have gone public with this. But I would like to see this in place. And I've already spoken to a couple of librarians, but since I spoke to them years ago, they might have forgotten.
Right.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to
I know I will.
Okay, I'd like to revisit this, but, okay. How cool is this scenario? The two high schools in town, well, the two education groups in town have their own libraries and their own computer banks, okay? As do we. And there's computers in the city library, the town library, the library out on 32, the community center. All right, so let's take, Susie Smith. She's in her, U.S. history class. She's starting to do her research for her term paper. She looks, oh, I got to get over to the learning center. I've got a community service hour coming up. Well, she comes over. We tell her what needs to be done. She gets done in 45 minutes. Well, guess what? She can sit down at a computer and open up her documents that she started at the high school. Now, she's continuing. She looks at the clock, and she said, oh, I forgot my track stuff. I got to shoot home, grab my track stuff for a meet tonight. All right? As she's driving past the library, she remembers something. She pulls in the town library, and she opens up her documents on the town library because we have all the same software. And what the library doesn't have, what the schools don't have, we can give back to the community by supplying the software. So we're all networked. So she can start a project early in the day at school, tie up loose ends before her and you know what? When she comes home for her meet, she doesn't have to worry about anything she might have forgotten because she made 3 stops that day, and all 3 stops she was able to pick up. Yeah.
Oh my
I'll
gosh,
be
that
darned.
is awesome.
Is it? Yeah.
Yes, it is. And
Yeah.
I said library. I did not mean library. I don't know where, we were talking about library earlier. So I meant the museum.
Museum.
You start at the museum and walk all the way around, not the library. It used to be the library.
But, ironically, I'm going to show off a little bit with my research. Ironically, that little building over there by the flags, that was both a library and a museum when it
Yes,
first
it was.
opened.
Yes, it was.
So,
was.
you weren't all
I
that
wasn't
far.
off too
Yeah.
far. You're right, you're right. But, oh my gosh, it's just amazing what we've done in the last,
Yeah. Yeah,
A
and,
little
it's our hope not to be the biggest,
right,
dog on the porch.
right,
We just want to be on the porch with everybody else.
absolutely.
And we want to do what we can to bring people into the community, and we want to do what we can, as a 501c3, we will reach a point in time where we'll be able to gift and scholarship. And
So great.
you know what? SEMO, I mean, that's where I did my undergraduate work. I came out of New England and did my junior and senior year down there.
Yeah.
I was one of the first members of the Copper Dome Society when they started that up back in the early 70s. And where was I going with this? SEMO, oh, history preservation. You know what I'd like to do, eventually? I'd like to award a scholarship to a graduating male and female at both school, and any homeschool kids that meet the state requirements, okay? So we're talking 6 scholarships a year. But also, I'd like to have a little pool of money set aside, so if any one of those 6 people end up with a history preservation degree, guess what? We cut them a check for $5,000, you know, upon graduation, you know, to help them out.
Yes.
I mean, why not?
Absolutely. You know, that's what it's for.
Yeah.
It's for the kids.
Yeah.
Well, the kids and well, I could consider myself a kid if I went back in there again. I'm telling you, it was really amazing. If anybody's not been to it, they really need to go.
Yeah.
And you think, oh, a dinosaur museum, it's just not dinosaurs. There's a lot more in there,
Definitely.
you know.
I mean, we've got, I tell people, I said, I hope what I'm sharing, you know, makes you want to come back to see it, not, oh, well, that, I've already know what's going to happen now. But, you know, we've got pre-Columbian jewelry that are strung with women's hair. Because there were no fine wire back then. So women used their own hair to make bracelets and necklaces.
Oh my gosh.
And that's pre-Columbian.
Right.
We also have items from St. Genevieve's history that are made from women's hair.
Really?
We've got earrings that the weave is human hair. There's one on display now. In the St. Genevieve Gallery, we have a bracelet made from women's hair.
I'll be darned.
I looked at all that. Was that in there in
Yeah.
December?
Yeah,
Oh,
you
I know,
got
I
it.
looked.
Yeah,
So I
and,
know, I've seen it. I just,
Well,
guess I
see,
didn't.
here's where, if you've got somebody on the floor, okay, that has an interest in the room, then you're more likely going to get, you're not going to get somebody showing off, but
Right.
you're going to get someone sharing information.
Absolutely.
And in the sharing of information, you know, I'm in my element, you know, it reminds me of being back in the classroom when somebody comes in and they ask questions,
Right.
regardless of how young or how old they are.
Right.
And you know, the safe, the
Oh,
infamous
yes.
safe
Yes.
from the bank?
Yes.
Okay, well, we've got the same, over where the bank once was near Sarah's Ice Cream, there's a little metal plaque.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay, dedicating
yes.
the spot where the corner of the bank was. And it mentions the Jesse James influence in the area and the robbing of the actual safe. Well, we have a bigger version of that above the safe. Okay, so when people come in and they ask, I say the same thing over and over again. I said, urban legend says Jesse James robbed the bank. Urban legend says his brother robbed the bank. Urban legend says somebody from the James gang robbed the bank. I can tell you this for sure. Joe Walsh, when he was with the James gang, didn't rob this bank. So anybody into music starts laughing.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
said, that you can take to the bank.
Oh my God.
Joe Walsh didn't
He
rob this
did
bank.
not.
Yeah.
But you know what, when you have somebody that has that knowledge, I guess I never look at him being, you know, a smart aleck, not smart aleck, but a show-off. Always looked at him thinking, gosh, they really either like this or they know their business. And
Right.
just listening to them, I could just sit and listen.
Oh,
Do
me
you
too.
remember seeing a pair of shoes, dress shoes that laced up the front in the St. Genevieve Gallery in one of the displays? It would have been underneath the long
Were they pointed
horizon-
toes?
Very pointy
Yes.
toes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
The young lady that wore those,
Uh-huh.
okay, she got married in 1920 in the Catholic Church. Her great aunt sent us her corset from the day she got married.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
Her corset size is 0.
Oh,
Oh, my lands.
My portfolio is wider
Than
than
she
her corset filleted open.
oh, my
And
goodness.
it's got the satin ribbons,
Oh
and
my
it's got
gosh.
the silk sides, the satin ribbon, the eyelets and everything. And we have that. The thing is, it's very easy to go overboard and cram everything under the glass.
Right.
And then things get just too busy,
Right.
and you get
And
sensory
you don't
overload.
look at it, but,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember the shoes because,
Yeah.
well, again, I have
I
granddaughters.
remember seeing them
And they
too.
said, didn't
Laced
it?
up the front with
Yes.
extremely pointy top.
Yes.
The Starrett Company, everybody, no matter where you are in this country, at one point or another, had a mix master or currently a KitchenAid in their kitchen. Well, the Starrett Company actually made the forerunner for all of that. We've got a Starrett hand
Really?
crank mixer chopper. As you crank the handle, the chopping blade goes like this, but at the same time that's happening, there's a gear and belt system that turns the bowl. So you could take your meat, you could take your veggies, you could put everything inside there and just stand like this next to your table, crank away,
Oh
and
my
let the
gosh.
machine do the work for you.
Isn't that funny? Because we were in there, it was the week of Christmas, the week after Christmas. And now some of the stuff I can remember some of that stuff. I can remember the dinosaurs and those big things and some of the pictures on the walls, especially, and then what Pruno did,
Yeah.
the things he did.
Yeah,
Yes, and I'm thinking, what else? And the shoes and the safe, and I'm thinking, what else? I know there was a few other things that I thought, but you know what? That just gets me going, thinking, I need to go again. You
Yeah.
probably go every 2 or 3 months,
You know what, you know, a person
or
could
even
come
once
in.
a month.
A person could come in at the beginning of the month and go up to the St. Genevieve room, okay? And how did that furniture get there? You know?
Right.
Well, that furniture's been there, you know, for
Yeah.
like 2.5 months. It's
Right.
Dr. DeGenevieve from his estate. That's Dr. DeGenevieve's examination table.
Oh, my goodness.
That's his bureau where he kept his, whatever the doctors keep
Right.
in bureaus. That's been there all along,
Oh, my goodness.
you know? And,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
could walk right by it when you focus in on the safe. We've got, one of the things I used to do at the other museum, when I was on over there, and while Robert Wolk oversaw the rehab and the construction of this, I oversaw the operation of the former museum.
Oh,
And that
okay.
freed us both up to do our own thing and not to get in each other's way.
Right.
And I used to bring people in over where we had our French colonial display. And I'd say to everybody, take a look at this display and see if you can pick out the one thing that's not right about this display. And they're looking at the display, and there were tools and nails and, you know, drawings and photographs, and only 2 or 3 people would get it. And what was wrong is we actually had a vertical log, but it was too big to stand up on its own, so we had it laying on its side.
Oh, my goodness.
And we had a sign on top of it that said vertical log. And it was horizontal in the back of the cabinet,
Oh, my gosh.
you know? But now,
Oh.
we have the vertical log is vertical, and we've got the type of axe that was used to, you know, take the tree
Right.
down and shape, you know,
Right.
I
shape
have
the
a
log.
field day looking at my basement.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's just, I'm excited for us.
Well, again, I'd like to thank
Oh, it's
you
interesting.
3 in person, And all of you that didn't come tonight, that allowed me to have so, take up so much time.
Right, right.
But,
Do we have any audience or viewers that would like to ask some questions? They could call. The number would be on the
He
screen.
puts it up on the screen. yeah.
Okay. I need to learn that number so we could say
I
it.
can't see that far.
Oh,
It's 7675, I believe, pretty sure.
883-7675. So if you have any questions, you could call.
We sure did enjoy your talk.
well, you know what? I'm a firm believer in if there's something that you truly like,
Right.
you don't really have life is so damn short, you really don't have enough time to talk about what it
Right.
is you truly, and I'm thankful that, Robert came to me and said, would you like to get involved? This is what we're thinking about doing and stuff. And, like all companies, corporations and businesses, you have your, those kind of moments,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
and you have your disagreements, and you have, but we've always, we've got an executive board that has, we still, as an executive board, really don't have anybody that had a pedigree in museums, okay? But we all come from backgrounds that, if you're familiar with the Miller analogy, the brain questionnaire, and when you're done, it shows which quadrant of your mind that you think the best with,
Yeah.
and it's like that because the best grouping is someone that's strong upper right,
Right.
somebody else strong lower right, strong upper left, strong. That's those four
Absolutely.
people. Well, we've got
You've got
five people that come from similar yet different walks of life, a similar professional white collar positions, but some are as different as night and day.
Right.
Right.
I mean, some of the businesses, that are represented, one size fits all. In education, that never applies,
Yeah.
So,
Well, I
mean,
love
there's
history, though. I just love history.
Well, and the thing is, we're doing it right where people that enjoy history will get history. And there's crossovers. I mean, there's some science involved with some of the ancient cultures. I mean, if we have a fully Mayan display, we can get into, or an Aztec display, we can get into their calendar and how amazing mathematicians they were. I mean, this facility could be everything that a state, when they mandate their core learning values, there's very few things that avoid the English, math, and science concept within this museum learning center.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
and we don't think it's going to be. We think it's going to be difficult,
Right.
an arduous task to get,
Right.
accreditation.
Right.
But we certainly have the people that are willing to chair the
Absolutely.
committees that,
Try it. Just work towards it.
yeah,
And that, I mean, that's the only way you're gonna find out if you can do it.
Yeah.
But,
exactly.
with the people that you have, I know they'll work hard towards it. But just exciting to know that, other kids from different schools, how we have kids that come down out of the city, and I think one of them I was at the post office one day, and I seen some kids, they were the Festus area somewhere. Anyway, they were down looking at the old houses, and they went, Sarah's. So I thought, how perfect, it's just all right there, what else could we
Yeah,
ask for?
we really have a good district.
Yeah,
Excellent district.
yep.
Sure.
So,
I'll have to come in the museum and see if you can help me out with some history.
We can,
I can't find a birth date or death, birth and death of this one person.
Well,
I can't find it anywhere.
there's come on in, and if Melissa's on, we'll get her on a computer. If Crystal is available.
I
we
need this
can-
one date to finish up this thing because my great-great-grandfather was Elijah Lincoln,
Mhm.
who was Abraham Lincoln's uncle.
Wow.
That was my great-great-grandfather. He was brother to Thomas Lincoln, which was Abraham's dad.
Dad, yeah. Yeah, I mean, but we could, I mean,
And I
that's
don't have
where-
that one date, I just don't have anything about
Well,
it.
that's where someone like a Crystal or Melissa, or
Yeah.
if I'm on, we could sit down at a computer and do a search.
Search, yeah.
Eventually, going back to that example of the high school young lady, there were five top flight genealogy programs. If the school had one and the library had the other, there's no reason why the
Oh
museum
my
wanted to say they
gosh.
can't pick up the other three.
Absolutely.
And
I just had that one I've got from me to my great-great-grandfather, but I just got that one in there I can't find a date on.
Yeah,
Can't find anything on him.
Yeah, well,
that Melissa is amazing. isn't
Oh, she is.
yeah.
Told her we're not gonna let her retire from school, but
Well, she was,
her.
I'd like to
husband-
read, I'd like to read you the text she sent me,
Okay.
but no, she should not on air, she get, but I mean, for
I love her.
for her to say, I spent all day in bed on this beautiful day trying to beat this. And I said, we've got a much,
Right.
not to downplay
Oh,
tonight, but we've got a
no.
much bigger weekend coming up that we
Absolutely.
need her
You-
for.
Right, you get better.
I mean, I can sling it with the best of them
Right. And
like
you- well,
this,
and you
but
did
you know
great.
what? I
And you told us pretty much what we needed to know and things that are going on, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, well, her
It's
daughter
really
Bailey,
enjoyable.
it's like
Yeah.
her and her mom, actually, it was Melissa's dad that was a teacher at school. Then Melissa, which was amazing, and then her husband, which is just as amazing, and now their daughter. So it is gone, and Bailey is just, she's her mom made over, so.
Really?
They're good people.
Yeah.
So, and the knowledge that they bring to whatever they're doing.
It's amazing.
Very
Yes.
talented
They're
family.
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
talented, very
And
good people.
and sure, and
Oh,
it's,
absolutely,
I've always maintained it's not a sign of weakness to ask questions.
right,
It's a sign of strength.
Right.
And, Melissa she'll run with the ball if you give her the ball.
right,
But she'll also ask,
right,
why am I getting the ball now? Shouldn't you be passing?
right.
It's not a running play.
Right.
Shouldn't you be passing? But she'll ask, and
Right,
she's really a godsend to have over there.
oh, yes,
Yeah, and operations,
she'll do good.
there are times where I think this learning center runs in spite of me, but with Melissa in operations, it runs because of them.
Oh, gosh.
Well, we have really enjoyed you being here tonight.
Absolutely.
Well,
Yes,
I enjoy coming, and I enjoy sharing the information that I have, and I truly appreciate, you allowing
Oh.
us.
Well, come back anytime.
Well, you know what, that offer, Iris said to me that offer before, but what sold me is I was in the middle of leaving a message on why I was calling, and the phone picked up, and this is the response I got from Iris's end. I just walked in the house and recognized your voice, yes. So,
Yes, you're coming.
yeah. I just got in, I haven't heard the whole message, I recognize
That's
your
good,
voice,
Iris.
yes.
Yeah, I put the key in the door. I heard the phone
And you can hear
ring
the
and
voice.
answer, and then by the time I got in, he was talking away. So I
Yeah.
just butted in.
Right. Oh, gosh, well, that's great.
It was wonderful having you.
Well,
Yes.
thank you so
Yeah.
much.
And anytime you know that something's coming up or something big, just give ours a call and we'll have you on again.
Well, and not only that, but
Especially-
in the future, I could be looking at 3 ambassadors here. So
Absolutely.
you know what, I
Great,
make,
too.
Absolutely.
I make a call and say,
Make more
hey, this is what we're
conversation.
doing, can't make it to the show, but
Right.
don't want to take any time away from your guests, but can you slip this in?
Can we do that? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you. Thank you.
You're
again.
You are
welcome.
so welcome. We
Thank you.
are happy, happy, happy to have
Yes.
people come.
Absolutely.
And really,
And
so
be
we
so
don't have to call.
Right, and be
And-
so excited about
Yes,
what they're doing to get everybody on
Yeah.
board. Yeah.
Yeah, dedication.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been involved with this
Love
project
it.
so long, they took my picture off of the post office box. So I guess I'm not in deep yogurt anymore.
Yeah, that place is so amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
We went on
Yeah.
a tour last week with Bob.
Yeah. Actually,
He was
Melissa
very good,
pretty well
yeah.
took us. She told me we could go, told us where to go, but then when it came to a couple different spots, I said, Melissa, can you talk about this? And she did, especially the incubator thing. They were really impressed with that, so they liked that. But I'll tell you, my grandkids were and they range from 9 to 18. And every one of them was, so we had all kinds of pictures. I'm telling you, I think every
Well,
place that we were in, we had pictures
And
taken.
we can see, somebody donated 1912 brass cash register, the one that sends up the little shield that says
Oh,
sale.
Yes.
Really?
As soon as it came in, Melissa and I looked at one another and we said, it's gotta go here. And it's in the gift shop. And it's in the gift shop, this
Oh.
antique cash register right next to the contemporary slide your credit card.
Right.
I went downstairs and I found an 1890 ledger. Grocery,
Oh, my
grocery store
goodness.
ledger. We've got the ledger opened up next to the cash register. People come in and they see that, and the first picture of the day, even without their children, is a picture of that,
Oh,
the
my
cash register.
goodness.
So we're pretty comfortable saying we think with the 7 galleries, we're gonna be able to strike a chord
Oh,
or a nerve
yes.
in
Right.
just about everybody.
absolutely. I'm thinking it was I'm thinking it was the safe. How'd they get that safe over here?
Pretty
Oh,
big.
it's as big as that.
Oh, no, I mean, how'd they get it up here? Did they bring?
Oh,
was
I
it-
don't,
Was it?
Did you
high
put it
school
on the
kids?
It was
antique?
over there, we jacked it up with a jack lift, we
Mm-hmm.
put, support wood underneath it.
Right.
We then brought it over here,
Mm-hmm.
and we got it,
Did you use the elevator? The old
we used the we waited until we had the elevator fixed.
Right.
And we got it, and that's about right now, in that facility, our mission, preserving the past for future generations, we live it every day. We took a 100-year-old building, and even though we turned it into the Starship Enterprise on the
Right.
inside, the outside, the Upper Grand Gallery still has its original maple floors, the original bricks.
Oh,
The 1914 half of the building, we preserve that building. Okay?
my gosh.
The only drawback is we don't have the way to get big, heavy items upstairs
there.
for exhibit, like an exhibit hall. I mean, we'll have to go into an expansion, we'll have to go into an add-on, we'll have to buy other buildings. I mean, who's to say that we're not doing that 5 years from now, or, 10 years from now, when there's another group of people running,
Right.
running the facility. But, we should have an exhibit space for, make it
Those-
easy,
the
that
heavy
heavy,
things,
heavy
right.
stuff.
Well, I remember my grandson telling me, him and some boys from school, I was thinking it was a safe that they helped get over there. Would it have been the key?
Oh, yeah, no, we had.
You had boys?
We had
Okay,
boys from
okay,
both.
okay, he
We
was
had
fine.
high school boys.
Yes.
We had high school boys from both St. John and Valley in the basement cleaning 100-year-old
Yes.
dirt, soot, and coal dust from the rafters, from the pillars, and then we had, the information desk
Right.
up on the second floor is huge.
Oh, yes.
And we had a crew of, everything that of weight, we had,
Okay,
You know?
because he told me he did that, and I was trying to think, we were upstairs, we were up, so we were on the second floor.
Yeah,
I'm
second
trying to
floor.
think of what we were, I know it was around the safe area.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't, and I thought it was the safe, he said that they help, and he said, that stuff was heavy.
Oh, we took the solid wooden display cases from the
Yes,
other museum.
yes.
We sent those up, the good prisoners, the captive audience woodworkers that the state has.
Right,
They
right.
refinished all of the cases. They had a Albee walk up that big flight of stairs
Yes.
that separates the two
Oh,
halves.
yes.
Yeah, the high school kids helped
Okay,
out.
all right, then I have to tell him. Yeah, because he said he got the help with that.
Yeah, that's a
Kinda
great place.
exciting. Yep.
It is.
And it's amazing how many people in town sponsor the different areas.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, everyone, make sure you get over there, maybe this weekend for sure. Beautiful weekend.
Oh, beautiful
And outside, especially for the kiddos, so,
We'll be there.
Okay.
all right then.
So the Art Guild, of course, is open in the old place, right across from the church. And this Saturday, they have, what do they call that event? Where
It's-
there's a bunch of the businesses, if you go in at certain times, they're
yeah,
having
it's-
drawings
it's-
and stuff.
Yeah, it's.
I looked and
It's got an
I,
East, it's an Easter theme, like the shop hop or.
that's what it
Oh.
is, shop
Shop
hop.
hop.
Shop hop.
Oh, okay.
And
So
it's
an Easter
from
theme
10
from
o'clock
10
till,
o'clock until
Yeah.
whenever.
Oh, okay, so it's
yeah, so
like the
you
whole.
can go in
Yeah.
any
Okay.
area, like the bakery, the new bakery, Pat, she's having, anybody that shops from 10 till 2, I think she had, or something like that, or 10 till close. And she's got prizes, and then she's gonna be giving prizes out
Oh, okay,
by drawing, yeah.
well, that's.
And I
neat.
think Common Grounds is doing the same thing. I
Common
saw
Ground,
their
yeah,
sign.
yeah.
There's probably a lot of the businesses in town, so we shouldn't really be mentioning them. But come to town this Saturday and
Come
go
to-
in the
yeah,
stores.
yeah.
They all have little signs up.
And
Okay.
With the-
we were all told through the merchants and attractions group that if we want to participate, even at the last minute, and anybody that didn't get into the Herald tonight, or yesterday or today, just string some balloons outside your establishment.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And that's what people are going to be looking for.
That's what we'll look for, the ones with
If
the
you see
balloons are
balloons
the
and you know
ones.
there's some sort of activity with freebies
Okay.
and, or very low
Right.
cost to
Yeah.
do things.
Okay, oh, that sounds
Yeah.
good.
I do that Saturday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
have to do that.
Saturday.
And that's another great event that people just pop up with that
Absolutely.
makes big attraction in St. John, yeah.
Yeah.
And like Mary Ann used to always say, there's always something going
There's
on.
always something going on.
Yeah, and you know what? If we're successful with Sipping with Santa,
I love it.
next year we'll do Beer with the Bunny.
There, oh my gosh!
We'll just open up the courtyard.
Hey,
There
this is
you
gonna
go.
happen, I'm going to tell everybody, we're gonna be sipping with Santa, and next year it's gonna be drinking beer with the bunny. I am telling people that, so
Yeah.
you get people asking, you can say, oh, I know where that come from, those ladies. Oh, gosh, that's awesome, that's
Yeah,
fun.
it is.
It really is.
So again, thank you for being on, and thank you guys out there in the audience that listened, and share the information.
Absolutely,
All right,
all right.
so we're ready to leave, Charlie. Goodbye.
Good night.
Good night.